All right, hello, here we are for page 2. I believe this is video 3. This is actually the second time I'm doing this video because this is let me start here. Here is page 1 that we have done in all of its glory. I went ahead and I have decorated it. I personally am not a huge fan of this paper, but it's what they wanted, so here we are. This is the braided pocket page. You can see where I've got glue smeared on. My angles are not right, but the braid is there. This was a hot mess the first time I filmed it, and this is the second time I have done this. So I don't know what was wrong that day, but holy cow. So I decided instead of making you suffer through that whole video, we're just going to redo it. So this is what it's going to look like, except our decorative paper will hopefully look better. So here's our cut list. It is on your paper, but you can see I wrote through, scribbled out, and put back in. So yeah, it'll look better whenever you get it. But here it is right now. We are going to need 9 pieces of 8.5 by 3.5. Okay, I am going to take 5 of them, and I am going to score at 1/2 inch on the left and 1/2 inch on the bottom. And then I am going to letter those page 2I. So page 2A, page 2C, page 2E, page 2G, and page 2I. Whew. Feels like a Dr. Seuss thing. Then we are going to take 4 of those 9, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch on the bottom and 1/2 inch on the right. And we are going to label those page 2B, page 2D, page 2F, and page 2H. Okay. And then I went ahead and I put them in order. So, I mean, I'll be doing this backwards right now. But here's my right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side. Okay. So now they are A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. All right, we are going to set those to the side for just a moment. Now, since this is my practice piece, I went ahead and cut some decorative paper that we are going to put on the front. I still didn't cut it right. So, the decorative paper should be 7 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I, of course, cut them all at 8. So we're going to knock off 1/4 inch on mine. So I'm going to do that real quick. Now, I did do extra pieces because I'm wanting to get the angle right. So I cut more than 9 pieces. I think I have 12. But I did learn that out of one 8.5 by 11, you can get 4 sets or 4 cuts of 2 3/4, and it comes out perfectly. So I guess 2 3/4 times 4 makes 11. Fun fact. You'll be able to amaze your friends now. Guess what I know? Do you know what 2 3/4 times 4 is? I do. So now we have those cut properly. And this is going to be my practice page 2. So just pretend that this is my actual page, okay? Page 2. So this would be the top, this would be the spine, and this would be the bottom. All right, so the very first thing or the next thing, it's not the first thing, we've already done the first thing. The next thing we want to do is go through and go ahead and knock off these corners. So we will do that. Because when we create, what did I do? There we go. When we go to put them on our page with our braid, we are going to have to make that. I have words. Sometimes I know how to do them. Our angle, that's the word. And to do that, we're gonna wanna go ahead and have our flaps. Our hinges, our closures, or whatever you wanna call them. We're gonna wanna have these folded in. And I'll show you why. Oh, I figured out something else I should do. So that we can see it better, let me get, if we're gonna do this proper like, we will need to go ahead and not decorate, but put our pattern paper on our base page. So we will also need one piece at 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. So let's get that. I may have to do a book someday that's just bright colors. No pictures, just bright colors. All right, so we're going to go ahead and slap that down. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right, that'll work. Smooth that all down. Now I'm going to go ahead and lightly put top, bottom, spine. Okay, you can barely see it. Well, you can see it better than I can. Okay, the other thing we're going to need to do before we put all this other stuff together is we need to mark every 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use the grid on my table mat, and we're just going to mark every 1/2 inch. We're going to need this so that we know where our pockets are going to go. Now when we're doing this, we are going to be going from the top down. But we can come back and erase these later. Yeah, that's still the top. Okay, so we're gonna set that to the side. I'm gonna put the lid on the glue. I don't know how I got a new stick pin and it's already bent. Whatever. I got cords hanging all over the place. Oh, not an earthquake, just trying to readjust. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. Hold what you got. Sorry. There we go, that'll work. Okay, so back to our 8.5 by 3.5 inch pieces. We are gonna go ahead and fold all of these in. Right. All right, so there's A, there's B. Now is C. D. E. I was confused because I got out of order. F. G. As in, you will do great things with paper. Look how straight our lines are. It's great. H. Crafting makes me happy. H. And I. I love it when everybody says, that's incredible. I know. But thank you. How did you do that? Magic. Okay, so now we have all 9 of our pieces. And our pocket parts are folded in. So we are going to go ahead and cut them at an angle. Now, if I bring this back, this is our spine side. You can see that A, right, there's no end, there's no stopping point for this. I have it going this way because that's where the spine is, so this is not going to fall out. Every other pocket is closed, so we don't, that's the only one. So that's why I want to make sure they go this way. So we will start on the left hand side as we move our way down. If we were doing this as an odd numbered page, then our spine would be over here and we would simply flip it, and then we would have done 5 of the cuts with score lines on the right and 4 with the score lines on the left. So you would just flip, flap, flip, flop. So get out the cutter, move all the bits. Now when we do this, wow, I got a lot of light glare going, don't I? Sorry about that. So here I've got my flappy bits for this one. Oh, I don't like that at all. I got my flappy bits on the right, I'm sorry, on the left and on the bottom. I want to go ahead and cut these with the angle so that they don't show up on the back of the page. And I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So we're all folded in. This is our piece with the score line on the left. So we want the left side flappy bit to be the top point. And then we're going to take our bottom right that doesn't have a flappy bit, and that is going to be our ending point, right? So we're making an angle. So I have my top left flappy bit to my bottom right non-flappy bit. Bottom right is right there on the edge where I'm going to cut it. Top left is right there on the edge where I'm going to cut it. Okay? If you were using a ruler, boy, that'd probably be easier. So, this is the piece I'm throwing away. Still have my flappy bit, but now I can't see it back here. So there is my my left pocket A, and it will be right here. Clear as mud? All right, let's go ahead and do B. Now B has the flappy bit on the right hand side. Okay, so that is going to be right here. Flappy bit, we always use the top. Non-flappy bit, we always use the bottom point. Okay, line those up on the edge of your cutter, or line it up with your ruler that way, just like butter. Okay, so now we have two, and I'm going to show real quick if you were doing this with your ruler. I'm sure you're like, duh, I can do that, but you never know. So this is a left flappy bit. I would take my ruler. This is my flappy bit, my top point. I would put my ruler there, and this is my non-flappy side, so my bottom point. Draw your line and either cut it with your scissors. If you have an X-Acto knife, don't slice off your finger, you're going to need that. And then you would cut it right there like that. Okay? So now I'm turning this around because this is my flappy bit. Top flappy bit point, bottom non-flappy bit. That's what I'm lining up on my cutter. All right, so there is C. D is a right flappy bit. So right top, left bottom. E is a left flappy, so top left, bottom right, if your cutter will allow you. I can throw you out. You don't have to work here. Here is F. It's a right flappy bit, so top right, bottom left. G is a left flappy bit, so top left, bottom right. Yeah, look at it now. It's not trying to hold me up now. I got two other cutters I could use besides you. Here is right H, which is a right flappy bit, so top right, bottom left. Top right, bottom left. I is a left flappy bit, and our last one. So bottom right, top left. And there are all of our braided pockets. Okay. Now we can clean up a wee bit. Oh, sorry about that. So now we're going to try, this would be our decorative paper, because we need to put this on before we put it on, before we braid our pockets. So I'm going to try doing the same thing. Now, since this paper is exactly the same on both sides, I can just cut it and then turn it whichever way I need it. If we were using patterned paper, then you would need to take 5. You would need to sort them just like we did our pockets for which way your cut is going to go. Meaning, see, this side has moths on it and this side does not. So I can't cut all of them the same way, right? Because there would be mine that goes this way. But then whenever I used this other piece and turned it over, I wouldn't have the moths on it, so it would be different. So you're going to want to cut 5 going one direction and 4 going the other direction. Yeah, clear as mud again. So whichever direction you're going, if this is going to be a left side one, then I'm going to do top left and bottom right, just like I did for my pockets. Okay. So now if I'm going to do one that should be on the right side, it's going to be the top right, bottom left. Top right, bottom left. Oh, there we go. So I would need 4 of those. Now my left side, top left, bottom right. And now top right, bottom left. Right, bottom left. Nope, I just did that. Top left, bottom right. So you will alternate through until you have 5 pieces. No, 9 pieces. 5 for the left, 4 for the right. Okay. So I have that. You can go ahead and pause till you get your part done. So here is my pocket A, which is the left hinge. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. And by doing this way, instead of the cattywampus sugared up way I did it before, see how I put all this together and then I did put the decorative paper on and I had to slide it in there, and that's why I got glue smudges all over the place. It was a deal. Now, the other thing about this, because you're thinking, wow, you're not hardly going to be able to see what's in this pocket. Each of our pockets is only 3.5 or 3 tall. So this piece will not go all the way down. This pocket, well, it goes down further than that. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, so they'll only go down the 3 inches. You can hold a whole lot in here, but they're not going to get lost. You're not going to be having to shove your hand all the way down in here to try to get those. And if you can see on my profile here, it doesn't stand out a lot. That gap right there is where I can put my tuck spots, folders to come out. But you can see, it really doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So it's a slender way of doing a stacked pocket that I just thought would be cute. So let's go ahead and glue these down. Looky there, we're already doing better on time. The other video was 1.5 hours because my words weren't right. My paper wasn't cooperating. it was a hot mess. Okay. So there's one. I'm only putting enough glue on here to hold these down because this is a practice piece. If you need more glue, do it. Do it. Do all the glue you want. This would be a difficult one to tape. Yes, I am covering up the letters. I am going to go ahead and set these out by left hinge, right hinge. Oh. Now, if you ever get the chance, there is a lady on Facebook. I must apologize, I do not know her actual name, but it's under Crazy Paper. She is, I believe, out of Russia. She is a mad scientist with paper. I mean, crazy. She's got things that are flipping and flapping and spinning, and she uses a box cutter and some sort of industrial strength glue that's in a tube. But wow, her stuff is just absolutely gorgeous. I am going to try to figure out how to do some of that stuff since all of hers is in Russian. She has a few subtitles, but the translation is a little hard. I did go ahead and get myself a cutting board that is in metric. We Are Memory Keepers has a metric one. I don't know. I might be able to figure it out in inches. But we are going to be trying some of that stuff soon. But she's got diagrams. And it took me a while to figure out what was a cut line and what was a fold line, score line. Okie dokie. We are almost done here. She had some tutorials on Etsy, and I did buy one. And that's, yeah. It was one of those, I need to be in a quiet room all by myself for about 12 hours just to see in my brain what she's doing. So, we're going to attempt some of that in the future. I will try to figure that out so that you don't have to. Last one. All right. So there's our pockets. Now we are going to put them on our page. So here is our page. Your page too, my practice, because. So we are actually going to start with a left-handed pocket, and we put our pencil mark up here. So we're going to start this a 1/2 inch down. Okay. So let's go ahead and just glue that. Now on here, you are going to want to try to get as far out to this tip as you can. So I did my top point, line it up down the side over to here, and this bottom point should come to this hash mark. Okay, and there is our first pocket. Now, I told you that I would tell you why we were cutting that off. If we had not cut, we would have a little black tab. If we had not angled our hinge along with our paper, we would have a little black tab that would come out here about 1/2 inch. So, is it a big deal? No. Would I see it every time I thought of this book? Absolutely. So now we're going to go to our right hinge pile. Smear on some speckle. Okay, and this is going to go down 1 hash mark. Follow it down to along the side. And it comes right to that point. So I'm going to press, press, press. And now we can't see these hash marks, but we can still see these down below. All right, so we're going to go back to the right or left hand side, left hand pile. Slap on some glue. Now I'm going to start using that mark. So if this was on this half mark, I'm going to go down 1 half mark, line it up the side, press along the bottom, and we should end up at this hash mark over here. And that is how we do the braided pocket. Okay, over to the right hand pile. Okay, my next hash mark down. Put the point, follow it up the side, and then along the bottom, and we end up at the hash mark right over here. That's how we know our pocket is straight. Okay, so left hand pile, hash mark, follow it up the side, follow along the bottom, now we do have a few of our tips hanging out. We're just going to knock those off in a minute. See, you can see them here and here and here and here and here. Ooh. We'll just snip those off when we're done. All right, right hand pile. Hash mark, point, follow it up the side, and then along the bottom. Smush, smush, smush. All right, left hand pile. Bottom point to our next hash mark, follow it up the side and along the bottom, and we end at our next hash mark on this side. Oh, these colors are making me think totally 80s. Bright fluorescence. All right, right hinge. Some glue. Okay. Next hash mark, line up our bottom point, follow it up the side, and then along the bottom. Okay, now we're to our last one, and it is a left side hinge. Slather. Okay. Now, this does not go all the way to the bottom. We also didn't go all the way to the top. So I'm going to line it up on our last hash mark on the left, bottom point, follow it up the side, across the bottom. Now, if we wanted to do one more along the bottom, we absolutely could. I would put a small lip over here if you're going to do that, because otherwise stuff's going to go sliding out. I kind of like it the way it is. There is our braided stacked pocket. I'm excited. We did good. We did way better than the first time, which was actually the second time I made it. This is now the third time I've made it. All right, I just knocked off those little points that were hanging out. See, we haven't used much on the side. Let's go through, push, push, push. And look at all the journaling cards, photo mats that we can put in there. You could put them this way, leave that little bit of color hanging out all the way down. So we have given ourselves 9 pockets. All right, so good job. We did this in just under 40 minutes. I just saved you like 45 minutes of your life. So, from having to do the other one, because I think the other one you were going to have to watch it all the way through to finally figure out what in the world's happening, and then go back and start it again. So, there's our stacked pocket page for page number 2. I will see you in the next video. Bye.